But first to Victoria, and if you want to know what a second or third term of the Albanese government will do to Australia, well, just take a look at Victoria, where a hard-left Labor government has caused the sort of damage and destruction that is almost unquantifiable. What is quantifiable is the record debt in Victoria, the highest of any state and by some margin, with forecast net debt of $187.8 billion. That has seen the Labor government launch a war on property investors. Mum and dad landlords investing in bricks and mortar to try to get ahead are being hit with sky-high land tax, a costly and ever-expanding list of minimum standards and a raft of reforms that diminish property owners' rights. And this week, yet another new tax. The Jacinta Allen government plans to charge investors a higher rate under its new levy to fund Victoria's emergency services. And to add insult to injury, the Victorian Treasurer, Jocelyn Slimes, was so dismissive of this latest impost that she just claimed that landlords can afford to pay more. And that was her defence of this new tax. Now, if this Treasurer had any economic credentials, any business nous, or just experience in a role outside of being a political staffer and a politician, she'd know that the additional costs will be passed on to renters, or add further pressure on property investors to sell their asset, which will shrink the pool of rental properties further and lead to higher rents. Either way, rents are going up and mum and dad investors will be under increased financial pressure. It is another lose-lose situation, a specialty of state Labor, and it comes at a time when experts warn that rents are about to soar further across Melbourne, with hikes of up to $200 a week forecast. All of this appears to be lost on the Treasurer, who is so out of her depth in the portfolio that staff communicating with her were reportedly told to avoid using economic lingo. As the Herald Sun reported last month, staff were instructed to stop using economic terms and phrases in all communications with the Treasurer, as she doesn't have any clue what they are talking about. I mean, it's one thing for the Victorian Treasurer to be ignorant of economic terms, but she also appears to be profoundly ignorant of basic economic concepts. Victoria cannot afford to have an economically illiterate Treasurer, but sadly that's precisely what we have in Jocelyn Slimes. And if you want that sort of gross incompetence on the national level, then by all means return Anthony Albanese for a second term. Now to a little lefties losing at content, and there's nothing sadder than a comic who was once funny, once cutting edge, but has become so broken by leftist ideology that they jump the shark, and instead of bringing the laughs, they bring the sort of cringe-worthy antics that they used to mock. The latest comic to beclown himself is Bill Burr. Once brave, profoundly un-PC, and most importantly hilarious, he has been reduced to appearing on The View and trying to out-cringe the crazy cat lady panellists. Listen to this rant about Elon Musk. Apparently, Musk is just a nerd who doesn't know how to talk to hot women.
But is there anybody getting your ire up these days more than usual?
Nerds.
Yeah.
The nerds that own the politician. All these tech nerds that want to build robots because they don't know how to talk to hot women they're gonna take over the world. They're going to take over. They are literally going to replace us. We're like beta right now, and they're coming out with like the VCR. And I think Elon has got the rockets going because they realize there's other Earths out there, and they're going to trash this one, and because they don't have any concern for it, and they're going to move on to the next Earth.
Now, you can say plenty about Elon, but I would have thought the man with over a dozen children from at least 7 different women has little trouble talking to girls, hot girls. Frankly, I'd like him to speak to less women. But the Elon Musk derangement is at fever pitch in the US, so much so that it's rivaling TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. Watch here as this lunatic Democrat, Jamal Bowman, claims that Elon is a thief and a Nazi. This is on CNN.
Elon Musk is incompetent in his position. And how do we know? Because they fired tens of thousands of people, was challenged in court. The court said the people have to go back, and now the people are coming back. He's incompetent, he's a thief, he's a Nazi, and people don't trust him.
I do hope CNN have excellent lawyers, because that's defamation. It's very clear. And Elon Musk has had enough. Yesterday, he posted that a lawsuit is incoming. CNN are in all sorts of trouble if he follows through with that. But it's not just CNN who are spreading hysteria and lies in order to damage the Trump administration. This week, MSNBC had to issue a number of humiliating apologies after they somehow mixed up the Indian Prime Minister Modi with Vladimir Putin in order to smear Trump.
Last night, The Last Word reported on excerpts of an interview between the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, and an Indian TV news network in which she said Trump was good friends with the world leader. Now, we said that world leader was Vladimir Putin, but the full interview was subsequently released, and it showed that Gabbard was referring to Donald Trump and the Indian Prime Minister, Narendra Modi.
Easy mistake to make. Yeah, they are that dishonest and incompetent. Let's have just one more grovelling correction from MSNBC.
Last night, we reported on excerpts of an interview between the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, and an Indian TV news network, in which she said that Trump was good friends with a world leader. We said that world leader was Vladimir Putin, but the full interview shows that Gabbard was referring to Trump and Indian Prime Minister Modi. Clear that up.